All right, let's get right into it. There's a huge nationwide strike coming up on February 12th, and we're here to break it all down for you. What it is, why it's happening, and most importantly, how it's going to impact your day. You've probably seen the headlines buzzing about this, right? But the real question on everyone's mind is, how will this actually change my day? Your commute, your errands, your daily life. That's what we're going to figure out. So, first things first, let's get a handle on what we're actually talking about. You'll hear the term Bharat Bandh a lot, but what does that really mean? It's way more than just a simple protest.
Okay, so a Bharat Bandh is basically a full-scale, nationwide general strike. This one, called by a whole bunch of trade unions, is set to kick off at midnight on February 12th, and it'll last for a full 24 hours. The whole idea is for workers from all sorts of different jobs to just stop working, all at the same time, to make a point about government policies.
All right, this is probably the part you're most curious about. Let's get practical. What's going to be open and what's going to be closed? What can you count on and what should you probably plan around? So here's the breakdown. On one side, you have services that could see some major disruptions. We're talking about banking and insurance, public buses, maybe even government offices and schools. So definitely plan ahead for that. But, and this is a big but, the good news is that all the essential services are exempt. Hospitals, pharmacies, ambulances, fire departments, even your milk and newspaper delivery. All of that should be running like normal. Now, here's a really key thing to remember. This shutdown isn't going to look the same everywhere you go. The impact is definitely going to vary from state to state. For example, places like Kerala and Odisha are expected to see a much bigger effect, with more visible disruptions just because the union participation there is so strong. So for sure, check your local news to get a sense of what to expect in your specific area. So we've covered the what and the how. We know what's happening and how it might affect us. But that brings us to the biggest question of all. Why? Why is this massive protest happening in the first place? Well, it really boils down to a few core issues. The number one thing on the list is a protest against the government's 4 new labor codes. The unions feel these new rules could water down protections for workers, making things like job security a lot shakier. They're also pushing for better Social Security. And interestingly, some farmer groups are joining in because they're not happy with parts of the new India-US trade deal. To really get why this is such a big deal, you have to look at the sheer scale of it all. We're talking about a massive number of people all acting together. 30 crore. $30 crore. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's how many workers the trade unions are saying will be part of this strike. It's an absolutely staggering number, and if it holds true, it would make this one of the largest labor protests we've seen in a long, long time. And what's really amazing is the diversity here. This isn't just one industry. We're looking at people from public sector companies, government jobs, banks, insurance firms, bus drivers, factory workers, and like we said, even farmers. It's this huge coalition from all walks of life that really gives the strike its power. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground. So let's bring it all home and boil it down to the most important things you need to remember as we head into February 12th. Here's your simple 3-step guide for the day. Number 1, plan ahead. Seriously, if you need to go to the bank or rely on a bus, expect some hiccups. Number 2, stay tuned to your local news. Remember, the impact is going to be different depending on where you are. And number 3, and this is the reassuring part, essential services are safe. You don't have to worry about hospitals, pharmacies, or other emergencies. And that really leaves us with one final thought. Is this whole thing just a one-day headache, a temporary inconvenience we'll forget about by next week? Or is it something more? Is this a major signal of a much deeper conversation that's just getting started about the future of work and workers' rights in this country? And that's our look at the nationwide strike. Hey, if you found this explainer helpful, do us a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. And we really want to hear from you. What are your thoughts? Is this a necessary protest, or is it just a massive disruption? Let us know down in the comments. Thanks for watching.